I've been here a little over a month. I was going through some hard times myself. I just happened to run across somebody that knew of this place, St. Vincent de Paul, and I was fortunate enough to get in. We have a cleaning crew, and laundry needs to be done, bedding needs to be cleaned, because we have residents coming and going. I take pride in mine, because the bedding, that's the most important thing. Everybody wants a place to lay their head.
If you've ever visited downtown Louisville, you know that it is by far the centerpiece or the heartbeat of our city. It's such a vibrant place to be. But on the flip side to that, it's also a place where there's a large concentration of our fellow Louisvillians who are unhoused. And they are sleeping in our alleyways, they are sleeping under expressways, they are sleeping outside. And unfortunately, that's the predicament that they are in. We need to make sure that people have shelter, especially during the harshest seasons like the winter.
We've seen more and more people staying on the street, and that means cold weather is more impactful for that population. White flag is when the temperature, specifically in the winter, is below 35 degrees or the wind chill is below 35 degrees. And then we have extra spaces that open because of that.
Most shelters have capacity issues. There are exceptions to that, obviously, and so when I think white flag, I think weather, inclement weather, where they'll accept anyone and make room and space, and they don't necessarily have to hold to those capacity issues.
If the wind chill's below 32, but man, that's cold. You can tell that they feel relieved, that they can come in, go to bed, and sleep, and you can tell that they're at ease. I ran across somebody in the park over here the other day, and it was cold. It was 45, but it was cold, and he's laying on the ground, no pillow. They need a place to stay.
We're looking at roughly 250 to 350 people, sometimes up to 400 plus people who are sleeping outside on any given night.
We know that people are going to do what they need to do to survive. And so obviously we want to ensure that people aren't at risk of freezing, and at the same time want to make sure that we're being careful with fire prevention.
Not everyone will make it indoors for lots of reasons, but we try to make sure that there are plenty of spaces available so that people can be somewhere safe and warm.
It takes a little bit out of a person to depend on someone else. Why would they sleep on the streets? It's that obstacle to give up your self-sufficiency. And it's a big one. Until you get there, you'll never know.
Folks have died in these elements. Folks have lost body parts in these elements, and no one should be forced to live in those conditions. Over 90% of the people who are unhoused are from this region. 85% are actually from Louisville. They are brothers, our sisters, they're aunts and uncles and cousins. They are somebody, they are Louisvillians, they are your neighbor.
When you see someone who's in a bad way, being respectful and compassionate is always important. Looking someone in the eye, asking someone how they're doing, and I would say making sure that people understand that if you are concerned about a camp, you should report that to 311. That triggers our street outreach.
I'm guilty of putting my blinders on. It's not easy until you walk in their shoes. People just need to think and realize that it's not just on TV. We're not just on camera, we're real. Everything's going to be good. It just may take a little time. Once you get down, it might take a little time to get back up, but I feel 2 thumbs up. I'll be all right.